So in this video today, planning and trying to figure out a way that I want to make my bathroom in this conversion. I actually had to make enough space so I can fit in the shower myself. So I have about 3 inches underneath that floor. So I'm gonna have to make a drain pan no matter what level the bus is at. If it's tilted, back, forward, that all the water will drain. Some conversions have a lot more room to make a shower in the back of their bus or their conversion or their RV, but I have limited space. A little bit more than a van, but not as much as an RV. The way that I'm going to do this, being that I do not have a lot of ceiling height for anybody to be able to take a shower in this bus, there's going to have to be somewhere to sit down. A little nook right there to sit on, so when you're taking a shower in there, it doesn't matter what height you are. As you could see, the shower is not really big. I'm a short guy, so I get away with it. I got to utilize all this space that I have within this area. Because on this side, as you could already see my water line right there, it's going to run up here to my all-in-one unit thing that I bought. The spigot will be right here to be able to splash so I can rub a dub. Right here, I'm going to put a little baby sink with a little baby faucet. But that is to be determined because everything's going to be getting fiberglassed with the fiberglass epoxy. But so far, that is my plan for this bathroom. So to give you some type of visual how I'm going to do this, you see this line that I drew. That's the line. That's the thickness of this foam. So I'm going to put the foam like that, and it's going to wedge in between this piece that I cut out. So this foam, just as you see it sitting right there, will go up the entire wall, all the way up the wall to the ceiling. This piece of floor, where my lines are, is going to get cut out. This right here, this whole square right here will be cut out. And then the drain will be pretty much dead center. And then I'll have a slope that goes into, it'll be a sloped drain pan for all the water to go out. And something I've been learning, which is really cool, so I'm going to buy fiberglass resin, and the entire shower, once the foam is all set up and I have all the shapes that I want, will be coated in fiberglass. So it'll be one big shell, but it will fit all my corners, and it will be sturdy and 100% waterproof, so we won't have to worry about any type of mold. I cut the floor that I made out below for the shower pan. So it gives you a good 1.5 to 2 inches below the floor line. Now I gotta start putting the pink foam boards against the walls. I made my measurements. So let's go out to the table saw, start beginning to make our cuts. So as you can see, on my 1/2 inch piece of pink foam board, I've already made my 2 marks that I need to cut for the one wall. My first cut has to be 28.5 length. Now for the back toilet area, I had to make a measurement, which was 1 foot, and then the pan diameter from the floor to the metal was about 2 inches. So the best thing I could say is get one of these squares. You can get them at Harbor Freight really cheap, but to make your lines perfect, you know, because you want straight lines. And working with foam, I mean, like, you have a lot of flexibility when you're working with the foam. You can mess up, and you can always add more foam in places that you screwed up in. So, squared it off. Made my lines. Now let's make this somewhat uniform. And then use the noise maker. This is what I call a noisemaker. My measurements pretty spot on, which is a good thing. I had to, as you can see how it dips down right here, I had to make sure I made the 2 inches right there. And then this to here is 1 foot. I had to get this pink foam board to be almost a perfect match. So what I'll do is put liquid nails along this wall to hold the pink foam against it. So let's throw this bad boy in there. From the time that I've worked in auto body, I've always learned that you want to make sure that there's no nasties on your surface, so the two particular surfaces bond together. So I'm just using alcohol. As you can see, there's nasties on the rag. On the back of this foam board, I did take off the plastic film, because there's a plastic film on there that might not create a bonding surface. Also, one thing to add, these walls already are all insulated. There's already like 3 inches of insulation behind this wall, and this wall's got insulation with the aluminum tape that blocks the wood and also seals up all the seams. The one problem you have a lot of times when you're in a shower is it always feels cold or drafty in there. I made sure that I put enough insulation everywhere in this bust that there's no drafts coming from any of the walls. Make sure you're wearing gloves, because this liquid nails is pretty nasty. So basically, already shooting out. Remember to relieve your pressure on your gun. Also, as you can see the way I did this, it doesn't have to be perfect. See, I am not just relying on the liquid nail to hold this to the wall, because that wall's a curve. There's a curve on that wall. There's going to be drywall screws that hold it to the wall so it keeps that curve, because that little curve actually gives me more room in the shower. Now remember, this stuff takes 48 hours to dry. So you don't have to like rush and like freak out that it's going to dry too fast when you're trying to mate these two surfaces. I'm going to line up my board. It's already been pre-cut. I've already pre-fitted it. Just goes in there perfect. But that's the point. It goes in there perfect, and that's the way we want it. Because basically, all this thing is really doing. So basically, all this is doing is giving me the shape that I want for the fiberglass, and the foam is an extra protectant when it comes to waterproofing. Now, this is the extra step that I'm taking to make sure that it stays to the wall. I put some drywall screws in there so it makes that nice curve. But the one thing that I really wanted to change that I see in a lot of showers, that board for the walls will drop down below the water pan. Because every time I go in a shower, it's always the walls meet the pan, and that's got to be caulked. Well, when I fiberglass this, I want the walls tied in together with the pan, so you never need to caulk it. So that was part one of the school bus conversion bathroom, or the smart bus bathroom. But in part two, as you can see, it's hard as a rock. There'll be more to come. Keep watching. I'm going to show you how to fiberglass, put fixtures in for everything you need when it comes to your conversions bathroom. Thanks for watching. Peace.